What is up, fitness people? Is it possible to build muscle while having low testosterone levels? Now, there's a lot of myths going around relating to testosterone and muscle building, and one of them is that it's not possible or extremely hard to build muscle while having low testosterone levels, and this is completely inaccurate. You got so many people doing a blood test and then they see their numbers at 400 and 500 nanograms in their 30s and they automatically hop on TRT. Now, I used to be in the TRT business. I used to co-own 2 TRT clinics, and I could tell you one thing that's very accurate. 80% of bodybuilders who go on TRT, they do not need it, and they take way more than what's needed. Most of them are gonna be using 200 and 300 milligrams a week, as high as 400, and they will call it TRT. That's an excuse for them to be on cycle. These numbers are gonna bring you way above 1,000 nanograms. Now, let's make that thing clear. Now, aside from that, we're gonna go back to testosterone and muscle building. Now, most people, they could build muscle if they have the levels of 400 and 500, even 600 nanograms. I've seen people building muscle as low as 200 and 250 nanograms, even 300. I mean, think about it. There's women out there that are building muscle and their testosterone levels are less than 100 nanograms. So if a girl could build muscle while having the testosterone levels of 100, even 80 nanograms, male could build muscle, believe me, by 300 nanograms. Yes, you are gonna build more muscle if you go above 8 and 1,000 nanograms, but not always, because building muscle is not always related to testosterone. A lot more factors need to be determined. For example, how you're responding to weights, your fast twitch muscle fibers, how much muscle you're recruiting by lifting weights. Not everybody is going to respond the same way. Someone could have 400 nanograms of testosterone, while someone else can have 1,000 nanograms of testosterone, and the person with 400 nanograms could actually build more muscle. I've seen people with testosterone levels of 500 and 600 that look incredible, and a lot of people think they are on cycle. These are people who used to come in the TRT clinics and they wanted to go on TRT because they felt they would get a big advantage. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking to myself, these guys look like they are on TRT already, but based on their blood tests, they were not on TRT. It's just people who looked good, they responded very good with weights, they followed a good diet, and they had good genetics, of course, and they looked good. So they did not need to go on TRT. But there's so many articles on TRT telling you need 800 and 1,000 nanograms for you to feel your best. That's when you're gonna feel like you're a teenager again. But why would you wanna feel like a teenager when you're in your 30s and 40s? All right, you don't wanna do that. Like, accept your age and feel the best you could be. You're not supposed to feel like a teenager when you're 40. And trust me, in some areas, you don't wanna feel like a teenager. Now, I personally looked my best when I had the testosterone numbers in the 400 nanograms. Like, if you look at these pictures, I was at my biggest when I was in the 400s. Right now I'm 45, and believe it or not, my testosterone is actually higher. It's in the upper 600s. It fluctuates between 650 and 700. Sometimes it can go up to 750 depending on my sleep pattern, if I'm staying up a little bit longer, my diet, whatever. But the point is, right now, my testosterone is actually higher than it was when I was in my 30s. The reason is because, well, I started eating better. I started basically resting more. I did what I had to get my testosterone numbers up. In my 30s, I wasn't eating as good as I am now. So basically, I just changed my entire diet and lifestyle, and I did get my numbers to go back up again. Now, but the fact is, I looked my best in my 30s. In my 30s, I had low testosterone numbers. What I realized is I actually felt great with the numbers of 400. So there's no reason for me to actually not be able to build muscle. And I was able to build muscle. Now, the difference between then and now is, back then I was training more like a bodybuilder. Right now I train more for fitness. I'm getting older and I like to do more full body training. I like to do a lot of hikes. I like to do a lot of outdoor activities. I don't like to spend my entire day in the gym. I like to do 3 full body workouts a week and so on. Maybe I'm gonna do 3, 4, 5, depending how I feel, but I do not plan my workouts right now. I just get up and just do whatever I feel like doing that specific day. However, in my 30s, I wanted to look more like a bodybuilder, and I was training like a bodybuilder. That means I was eating like a bodybuilder, I was lifting weights like a bodybuilder, I was still doing full body training, but I was doing a lot more volume. Yes, I believe in volume. I looked my best when I was overtraining. Believe it or not, a lot of people are gonna tell you it's too much. No, it's not too much. I looked my best when I was doing a lot of volume in a lot of sets and a lot of reps, and I did not feel overtrained whatsoever, and I gained a lot of muscle. So the fact is, I looked my best when I had the testosterone numbers. Now, a lot of people, they don't do anything possible to build muscle because they use that as an excuse. They're gonna go out, they're gonna buy all these worthless supplements that do not even work. They're not gonna make you gain muscle, and they're gonna go on a cycle thinking it's gonna help them, or even TRT, but they are not going to do whatever it takes to build muscle. I guarantee you one thing, if you have the numbers of 300 to 500 nanograms, you are going to build muscle if you follow everything perfect, not even perfect. I was following my plan between 70 and 80%. 90% I was not doing this because I like to have a life. I'm not gonna go and count every single calorie. But the point is, I was 70 and 80% strict, and I was still able to build muscle. Most people, they do not train hard enough. They are not consistent enough. They don't follow a proper diet, and they use that as an excuse. But if you look at a lot of people who actually have a very nice physique, almost all of these people are going to have the testosterone levels of between 400 and 600 nanograms. Maybe 700, but the majority of people, from my experience, from what I've seen, these are the most common numbers. And these are the numbers that most people are going to feel their best. It doesn't mean if you're gonna go on TRT and you have the testosterone levels of 1,000 nanograms, you're going to feel better, because a lot of times when you're playing with your hormones, your estrogen is going to go up, and then you're gonna take another medication to counteract the estrogen, which you don't wanna do this. You don't wanna take one medicine to counteract the side effects of the other medicine. So my advice is, do it naturally for as long as you can, and if you feel you need a little assist, you're not building muscle by doing whatever it takes, then maybe you can try going on TRT for a few months. But I also want to mention one thing. I've seen a lot of people going on TRT and they do not respond well. They actually start feeling bad. They just feel that their estrogen levels are not where they should be. And they take a Remedex, which has more side effects. But the human body will always feel best if you do things the natural way. That's reality, people. Now also, the majority of people who go on TRT, they are not even bodybuilders, and building muscle, it is not the main cause for people to go on TRT. That's actually less than 10% of people. The number one reason people go on TRT is because they're having libido problems, anxiety problems, and depression problems, because testosterone is in fact a very powerful antidepressant. If you go and read a lot of studies, a lot of reviews out there, most people are gonna say how they feel incredible, their libido is back, they feel better mentally. So basically TRT is mostly used for mental health benefits. Building muscle happens to be one of the effects, but this is why people who use traditional TRT, they're gonna be using between 100 milligrams a week to 140, maybe 200 milligrams, which is rare, by the way. 200 milligrams is rare, but I've seen people responding with as low as 80 milligrams a week, and that's gonna be enough for them to get the mental health benefits, the libido boosting benefits, and the energy enhancing benefits. And that's when the estrogen is going to be in check. So that's it, people. There's no magic answer when it comes to building muscle. And if you do have low testosterone numbers, you could still build muscle. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They're trying to sell you bullshit products that do not even work. And you are going to build muscle if you are consistent, and you don't even have to be consistent. Be consistent at 70 to 80%. You will get results. Till next time.